Hello everyone, welcome to this video of AutomationEdge. In this video, we will take a look at the features that we have introduced in AutomationEdge release 7.2. From this release onwards, we have introduced configurable multi-threaded agents, which will now replace the existing three types of agents that supported only 1, 2, and 4 parallel workflows. Going ahead, our agents are capable of doing multi-threading, that means running multiple threads in parallel. This facilitates our agents to run multiple web automations and backend automations in parallel. So let us go ahead and look at an example. For this, I will take you to my AutomationEdge UI. Under the Agents tab, you can see that the demo agent 2 is up and running and the number of execution threads are 10, which means it can run 10 backend or 10 web automations in parallel. Now to edit this value, you can go to the Edit Agent option under the Actions tab. And you can change the number of execution threads from here. Now the number of threads that the agent can run in parallel depends on the underlying infrastructure on which your agent is running. Only if the underlying infrastructure can support those many threads, you can run those threads in parallel. Now I'll go to the catalog and trigger a few use cases in parallel to show you the hyperthreading capability that we possess. So my agent can execute 10 threads in parallel. So I will trigger 10 workflows from the catalog tab. So let me go to UI automation. I'll trigger a few UI automations in parallel, followed by backend automations. So in the meanwhile, while I'm triggering the use cases, if the execution has already started for web automation, the first web automation taking place, and this is the second web automation that is running in parallel. Now I'll take you to the request tab and also show you the request tab. So as you can see, all of these workflows are running in parallel on my demo agent 2, and I've triggered them all approximately at the same time. So this is how our hyperthreading capability helps you run web automation and backend automations in parallel. The next feature that we have introduced in this release is that the agents can now run in an invisible mode, removing the requirement of always running the console. The agent status and operations can be monitored and handled from the AutomationEdge UI Agent tab. The users can still opt to run the agent in the console mode with the debugging option. So let us go ahead and see how these agents are running in the invisible mode. Now at present I am at the AutomationEdge UI and you can see that my demo agent 2 is currently in the stopped status. I will go to the agent folder and start the agent. For that I will go to the bin folder and start the agent as usual from the command prompt. So once my agent starts running, as you can see, it has gone into the invisible mode. Now to look into the status of this agent, I can go to the AutomationEdge UI, and once I refresh this page, you will see that the demo agent 2 is in the running status. Now if I want to stop the agent, I can stop the agent from here. Also, if I wish to restart the agent, that can also be performed under the Actions tab. Now in case users want to run this agent in the console mode, that is also possible. So let me also quickly show you that. For that I'll stop this agent. So once this agent is stopped, I will again start the agent in the debugging mode. So my agent is stopped. So let me go back to the folder. And now we have this startup debug mode in which you can run the agent in the console mode. So you repeat the same process wherein you open command prompt, and this time you will run the command to run the agent in the debugging mode. In this case, the agent will run as usual in the active console mode. The next feature that we have introduced is we have enhanced the import workflow functionality. So the users can now directly import the AE workflows to the Process Studio. Let's go ahead and look at this feature. So as you can see, I am at my Process Studio instance. In the earlier scenarios, if I wanted to import a workflow from the AutomationEdge UI, I had to export that workflow from the UI and then import the workflow here in Process Studio. Now from release 7.2 onwards, we can directly import the workflow into your Process Studio instance. To import a workflow from the AutomationEdge server level, go to File, click on Import, select the last option, which is Import Workflow from Server. You will see this window come up wherein you will have to select the workflow name that you wish to import. So in this drop down, you will be able to select all the workflows to which you have access to. If you wish to search for a specific workflow, you can enter your filter values here and accordingly make a selection of the workflow that you wish to import. So you check the workflow that you wish to import, click on Next, give your project a name. I'm going to call it Employee Onboard. After you give a name to the project, you can then click on Finish and your workflow will be successfully imported. So here in my workspace, you can see the employer onboarding workflow that I have imported from the server. Let us now go ahead and look at the next feature, wherein we have introduced the option to group steps for ease of working with huge workflows. So let us go ahead and look at an example for group. So as you can see, there is an employer onboarding workflow already open in my Process Studio. There are multiple steps here for creating account, for adding users to account, for creating users and so on. So what I can simply do is I can group together these individual steps so that the workflow becomes easy for a user while designing or a developer while designing. So to group together the steps, you can select the plugins which you wish to group. The shortcut key available for this is Ctrl and G. So in this way you can give a name to the group. So I'm going to call it user group and click on OK. So once you group together these steps, you can also look into the steps that are available in the group by clicking on the group. So as you can see here, I have all the steps that are a part of this group. I also have the input hops and the output hops. If I wish to add a new hop, I can also do that. And we also have a remove option. In order to view the steps in each group without expanding them, you can click on that group and press on Ctrl plus Shift plus G. So as you can see within that blue outline, you can see all the steps that are present in that particular group. To close this view, you can again press Ctrl plus Shift plus G. If you wish to ungroup these steps, you can again click on the group, use the option of Ctrl G, and you can ungroup the steps within that group. You can also group together these steps or plugins by selecting them, right-clicking, and you will find the group and ungroup option. The next feature that we have introduced in this release is wherein we have further enhanced the plugin information dialog, where users can now view more detailed plugin information. So let us look at this feature. So here I am at my Process Studio instance. To look into the plugin information, I can go to Tools and select Show Plugin Information. And here I will get all the details in the form of a table. I can apply various filters here, whether I want to look into the step level plugins or the entry level plugins. I can select plugins that support loop, support error handling, support debugging, support auto sequential and so on. And I can click on apply filter. And accordingly, I will have those list of plugins come up in this table. Now these are just the main plugin names. And if I want to expand the list, I can click on this icon here. So I can look into the name of each and every step available, the plugin type, the category of the plugin, and also the description. I can also select various columns that I want to view. For example, if I want to look into any other details like metering units, looping, error handling, and so on, I can just check these boxes. Accordingly, these columns will also come up in the table. If I wish to search for any plugin, I can also enter the filter value here and go ahead and click on search for looking into any specific plugin detail. Here we also have an option to expand all plugins to collapse the entire list. And if I want to export these details into a CSV file, I can also do that from here. The next feature that we have introduced in this release is that we have added a few UI changes for an enhanced user experience. So to look at those changes, I am at the AutomationEdge UI. Let's go to the purging tab here, and you'll be able to see that we have added a purging configuration tab wherein we have clubbed together the purging policy and the purging schedule. Till release 7.1.2, these were two different tabs which we have clubbed together in this release for a better user experience. So here you will be able to look into the purging policy, and you can also look into the purging schedule by clicking on the schedule here. Similarly, if you navigate to the Process Studio tab, you can see that we have added an additional option for registrations here. So if I click on the License tab, I will be able to edit the licenses by checking on these boxes here. And if I want to look into the registrations, I can click on the Registrations button here, from where I can see the Process Studios that are downloaded and registered. The next feature is wherein we have also introduced the holiday calendar under the Workflow tab, so that users can select the holidays in the calendar. The users can also use the details to create the workflow schedules so that the workflows will not run on holidays. So as you can see, under the Workflow tab, we have the holiday calendar. You can click on the Add New button to create a new holiday calendar here. You can go ahead and give it a name, a description, select the effective year, select the time zone, and here you can select your weekly off. If there are any other additional holidays that you wish to add, you have the option to add the holiday details here. So I have created a holiday calendar here by adding in my weekly offs and also a few holidays. Now once I click on submit, this holiday calendar will come up here. Now once you click on the holiday calendar that is available, you will also be able to see the calendar like this, wherein your weekly offs will be highlighted and any other additional holiday that you have added in will also be marked on the calendar. So I had added in the Independence Day holiday, and that is being marked in red on my calendar. Now this holiday calendar, you can also use it under the workflow schedules. So if I take you to the scheduler tab here, I'll just edit one of the existing schedules. And if I scroll to the bottom, here you can see that this is where you can link your holiday calendar so that your workflows do not run during your weekly offs or specified holidays. That is all from this video. Thank you.